Welcome back to the Texas Truck Channel, and yes, you can tell by the thumbnail, the Land Cruiser is here and it's time to do the hill test. It's got all the goods. Will it be able to do it? We have to wait and see, but first, Brian, let us know all about it.
It's the Prado, baby. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of. First edition Land Cruiser, Craig's spirit animal of a car. Other than a Mazda 2, this is for him. This is it. I love this one because it's in the sand color. It's the first edition, which means you get the round headlights, which are so iconic, so cool. A bit Jeepish, if you will. Really, no, it's more of a throwback to the old FJs, which were also a copy of a Jeep. Look, we're not gonna get into that. Doesn't really matter. Let's get into the Monroney. That's the most important thing. What does it cost, Craig? This is the top dog, as expensive as they come, with destination $76,825, without $75,430, because it has two options: two-tone roof and all-weather floor mats. So, all that covered out of the way, that's it. This thing's got everything. And I'll tell you right now, it's freaking cool. We've gotten so many comments on this thing. I love it, but we're here to talk about the off-road goodies. Let's start with the approach angle, Craig. Was that 31 degrees of approach angle?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty darn good. And if you look at this bumper, granted it is plastic, everything is, so if you hit a deer with this, you're gonna deal with it. This angle is formidable. From here to there, they've actually designed it to have a straight line to the front point. There's not a goofy air dam like some of the Tacomas will have, or some of the Ford trucks will do too. They've done a good job of making sure this thing is prepared to do what it's intended to do.
And Brian, it's actually got full skid protection starting at the front with tow hooks.
Big plus. They're not red, but they do work. It's okay. And good, actually good point on the skid plates. The Tacoma has some gaps on it, even though it's the same platform. The Land Cruiser's not messing around, flat out. Now, wheels and tires. This is where they are kind of messing around a little bit. There is not a all-terrain option from the factory. So this is the Michelin
LTX trail?
Okay, if they say so. There's a lot, I mean, it says trail on it, Craig.
That means it's a trail tire.
The trail to REI is you are safe on. This is not an off-road tire at all. It is 18s though, because it's hybrid, and Toyota claims you have to have 18s because of the bigger brakes.
What?
We're here to report that's not the case. We have put two different 17-inch Toyota wheels on here, one off the 4th gen Tacoma and one off the 5th gen 4Runner, and it fits beautifully with room to spare. So that's good news for aftermarket guys. You've got so many choices here. It's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to it. Tire size wise, you've got 265, 70, 18, which is fine. Just make it a KO2 and you're good to go. Now I think visually I like that it's got kind of this flat top here. It matches the flat top of the hood here. It's really, really fun. I enjoy that a lot. On the side, real rock rails. I appreciate that. This is not a faux step or a predator step that's kind of in the way. This is actually gonna protect the body. If you need to slide over something, you can. And it is only here to protect the body. It's not trying to dual purpose anything. I do appreciate that. The mud flap, Craig, you gotta show them that. What's happening here? It has a strap on it. Why is there a strap on the mud flap? Look, it has a mud flap. The back one looks even better. It's flappy. It's literally a piece of rubber. It's not overly formed and where it'll crack. It'll flip over something you drive over. But if you back down an obstacle, this will keep it from hitting the tire. That's what the strap is for. I like that a lot. It's kind of like a throwback to I don't know, it feels like a safari adventure vehicle from the 60s. I think it's super cool. Visually, we also have the roof rack, which is more than just visuals. You can put your tent on here. It's ready to go out of the box. Like that a lot. And the wind noise is non-existent. Did you hear anything on this?
There's a little bit.
Okay, but it has an airfoil, so it's not horrible like some of them.
It's tolerable, very tolerable.
It's tolerable. Coming up back, you've got an integrated trailer hitch, which is something that is US market specific, according to my brother, and it tows 6,000 pounds. That's good to know. Additionally, I-Force Max, which means 465 horsepower, as the spec sheet indicates.
Why did you put air quotes? We got another video for that?
We got another video. Check out the road test. That's all I'm gonna say. It's way more refined here than we've had it anywhere else. We've driven it in the Tacoma Limited, which is the same actual mechanical powertrain as this, but it was pre-production. This is very dialed in for what it is, and it has a lot of torque fill and just kind of round town driving. It gets the job done. All I covered, let's check out the goodies inside.
All right, before we get to Brian, first this.
Before we go any further, I want to say thank you to this episode's sponsor, Onyx. They're sponsoring this episode and helping us get good content for you guys. We use their Onyx Elite app to get on all of our overlanding trips. We're planning one right now, and we've already got routes laid out for it. You can save maps to draw offline if you're going to areas that have no internet connection. And if you're wheeling in Texas, more importantly, the Elite program gives you a map of what is privately owned or public land. While we don't have much, there are some places that you're just not supposed to go, and it keeps you out of trouble. Saves our tail all the time. The Texas Overland Trail, really useful there. If you go up into the northern areas, closer to the Red River in that spot, there's a lot of things up there that we like to go do. We couldn't do it without Onyx. If you'd like to check it out and try it out for yourself and save 20% off your account, use TTC as your discount code from us, and thank you for watching. Now on to the review.
All right, Brian, let us know what we got inside. We got a lot of goodies. Ready to go off-roading, and Toyota hasn't left anything behind.
They have not. They've taken it seriously.
All kinds of buttons and all kinds of modes.
All the goodness right here, Craig. My favorite thing, I think, is the rear diff. So I know there's a center diff lock, and when it's not locked, it's a torsion limited slip.
Correct.
Very venerable all-wheel drive system is what that means. F-150s, Rangers, any truck on the planet has a center locking diff. They just don't have all-wheel drive, right? So that's okay. You also get the rear locker, which is standard on all of the Land Cruiser trims, which is a big deal. What we do have here, which is optional on lower trims but standard on the first edition, is the disconnecting stabilizer bar. That's pretty cool. That's Jeep Wrangler stuff, right?
Yeah.
Big deal. And actually, we haven't sampled this from Toyota yet.
No.
I'm looking forward to that. And then, unlike having hieroglyphics of the Tacoma version of this powertrain, it's just 4 high and 4 low. That's how it should be. More importantly, you have your drive modes. That's what this thing does. It goes between Eco, Normal, and Sport. But then you can hit MTS, Craig. Hit that button, and all of a sudden, we've got auto, dirt, sand, mud, and deep snow. And we can do that from 4 high. On our TRD off-road Tacoma, no, gotta be in 4 low, right? That's pretty cool. And this is off-road cruise control and also your downhill ascent control. Controlling with the mode knob, you can change your speed.
30 miles an hour?
It says 18 miles an hour is the max, 2 miles an hour is the lowest. That's
18,
pretty.
that's a lot.
That's a lot, dude.
At that point, you want to take over control usually.
Well, at that point, you go to cruise control. Right? Like, that's pretty cool. So I like that a lot. You've got the goodies. You also got the camera system. I do like that you have a lot of views. You have your inclinometers built in here. You have the wheel and tire view. You've got the overhead. So I can see where the wheels are at on the front. It's gonna help with placement. It won't help with direct up on an obstacle, but it does have options. And I love that how the quality is so much better than older Toyota stuff. So that being covered, how do you want to tackle the first round? I think we're gonna do a couple rounds in this video.
I think we should do 4 high, see what happens. If we need more goodies, we'll tap into them.
Okay.
If it's really easy, let's see what else we can maybe show some of the other stuff off later.
So let's just show it in the nothing locked as you drove to the store mode.
Okay.
And then we'll show some tricks after that. So street mode, everything, normal.
Okay, so we'll call this REI mode. Can you get to REI parking lot and just keep going? This will be fun, be a good little test. The biggest limiting factor we're gonna have here is those tires that Brian kind of made fun of earlier. The LTX Trails, good tire, but not real aggressive for off-road environment. And so as we know, as 4 auto, we're gonna get up pretty easily. Usually there's slippage there in 2-wheel drive, but we don't have to worry about that here. We are gonna direct him a little bit. It should be good. And he's fine. It's got all the protection. Okay, well, so Brian, we knew it was gonna be kind of boring because we knew for several things were going on there. We knew we had the approach, the brake over 25 degrees.
Yep.
And departure is just not a problem. And we had the protection.
Yeah, no concern.
So even if we touch, we're like, didn't really care.
It doesn't matter.
So that was really boring, Brian. I think we need to show off a few more features. Do you want to try something else?
Yeah, I think we need to do 2 things. I want to show the crawl control going up the hill on its own. And then I also want to try the stabilizer disconnect. I want to actually do the flex version of our hill and show the difference when it's connected and disconnected. And then we'll wrap it up from there.
All right, Brian, we're gonna do a round 2 because the first one was a little boring, like we talked about. What options are we doing here? You're gonna do the crawl control, you said?
I wanna do crawl control because I wanna see this thing do it on its own. I'm gonna set it to 3 or 4 miles an hour. In terms of MTS, I've got it in auto, okay?
Okay.
So it's doing its own thing, it's figuring it out on its own. So to make this more interesting, let's try 4 low. I wanna give it all its tools and let it do it on its own. Let's go to 4 low. And now let's do a rear diff lock.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Here we go, so crawl control, a little more exciting, a little more modes and low gear. Maybe that locker will kick in. Probably don't need it either way, but let's see. So it's driving itself. Brian's just steering. No gas or brake. 3 miles an hour. Let's see if it gets up and over. It's got to the obstacle. It's going to think about it. No slippage yet.
Look at that.
Okay.
Amazing.
And now the next part, get over the hump. Sometimes this will trick traction systems. Oh, there's some slippage with the tires. They kind of stalled in a bad spot.
What's happened here is we have it at too low of a speed. It needs some inertia to get up.
Yeah.
So physics for physics, and these tires are REI tires, not all terrains. So that's what we're seeing right now.
Okay.
If you were serious about off-roading this, you're not keeping the tires anyway. So let's roll it back, give it a little bit of a run up. I'm gonna make the speed higher on the crawl control. Now the diff lock has locked.
Okay.
It just now locked.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bump it up to medium on the crawl control. See what it does. There you go.
All right, and Brian, one of the great things about crawl control is that even when it's on, you can just give it gas and go over it, right?
Yeah, you
don't
can
have
just
to
bump
stop.
it. Yeah,
so
we're just demonstrating how it works.
But Brian, that was a little boring too. It did show how it does stop in a certain spot, and you have to give it a little more physics or physics, like you said.
Yeah, it's not a robot, but it is still highly capable. You know, it took the diff did lock at that one point, and I don't know if it was that or the 2 clicks higher on speed. It just was drama-less.
All right, Brian, time for the sway bar disconnect. Because it's Toyota, we know we have to engage it before, so I think we're going to show you a without disconnect and then with disconnected. Lifted. All right, that is our how far we got with the tire. Kind of hard to tell there, but that's our spot. So. Okay, let me show the people. This is the spot where we stopped earlier. We lifted a tire at this spot right here. We've got, that's how much farther we got. That's probably just almost 4 feet further, and we're barely lifted over here. We can't go much farther. We'll just get up over the hill.
Yeah, so we're past like, even look right here. Yeah, I can pull grass up.
Barely lifted. It was hard to do.
Yeah, it's moving side to side.
Yeah.
This hill, that's kind of the steepest we can do with this line. What a noticeable difference.
Wow, that goes to show you this is why the front sway bar disconnect does matter, and why Jeep and Ford has been doing this, and now Toyota is.
Now Toyota, come show them this side too. Look how tucked this wheel is. And I feel like earlier it wasn't going that far. There's just so much flex and twist from the front end. This tire's drooped out as well, way more than the other side. So it works.
In the GX550, this platform has a lot of flex.
Yes, it does.
And our Tacoma had a lot of flex. Yeah, that is a lot of stuff right there, and this is why it's just a good setup out of the box, even with your quote-unquote REI tires.
Look, shocker, Land Cruiser's really good off-road. I like this thing. I think it's super cool, and I'm just gonna put it out right now. This is my favorite of the new tnga-f platform.
And that says a lot, actually. With that, we'll stop there. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments how bad of drivers we are, or why you like this so much, or if you're getting something different, let us know. We love reading those.
Also, don't forget Onyx, check them out. Code TTC to save you some money. Enjoy it, we love it.
See you in the next one.